Welcome back to Fire Emblem Engage the Xenologue, which indeed has its own map. You can use the world map menu to return to the world of the main story or the Somniel. You can also fight in skirmishes that will appear in areas you've already completed. Now, I believe skirmishes in the Xenologue always contain gold corrupted, while those in the Divine Paralogs always contain silver corrupted. But here, we can recall the story and battle. You can go through these as much as you want. And we can do things and actually, let's check out the rankings here. On second thoughts, don't look at the rankings! Whatever you do, do not look at the rankings! I looked at it just then and realized that it contains something that is a huge spoiler. Don't look at the rankings. It'll all make sense once we get to the end of the Xenologue, trust me. But first, something you may notice is that the world map here, if we zoom out, it's actually flipped around. Firene is where Solm would be in the original map. The Xenologue 2 is at the Verdant Garden, somewhere we've never been to in our version of Firene. We head to Firene with Nell and Nil in search of a bracelet. Pretty basic description. But oh boy, things will change here. The actual story and writing for this chapter in particular, I remember being a standout among the Xenologue.
On a battlefield far from all you know, how will you prove your bravery? In the savage garden of blood and steel, who will meet their end? Cast the 4 thrones to fire. Lay 7 flames in the cradle. But there is one who knows the truth. In this world, there is no future. My lonely heart does not beat here.
Now, if you're good at recognizing voice actors, you might also know who's speaking that monologue.
Here we are, Divine One. Welcome to the Kingdom of Firene.
Neil, you are not Alfred, don't even try.
It may not be my place to say that, as a visitor here myself, but I felt someone ought to.
It's strange. Just like Lethos Castle, this place feels familiar, but not.
Maybe in this version of events, people on Jean's Island all speak in American Southern accents.
If we are finished discussing the scenery, allow me to remind you of the task that lies before us. We are to go to Firene Castle and acquire the bracelet of the Brash General.
Even though I already have it because, timeline shenanigans.
And time is of the essence. We must collect all 7 bracelets before our enemy does.
Of course, we do need to make sure we get the bracelets in this world because, the enemy is going to be able to use them all to do something, like Sombron was able to in the main timeline.
I hope the royal family is willing to hand theirs over, but I do have my doubts. You know how ill-tempered the Firenes can be.
What? The people I know from Firene are good-natured and peaceful.
But Aaliyah, you are in the alternate dimension where everything is reversed.
Is that so? In this world, they are vengeful and quick to violence. The royal family most of all.
Actually, wait, no, that's basically the Saline we all know.
That made them useful allies in wartime, despite their disdain for fell dragons. But ever since the Divine Dragon's death, they have completely avoided visiting us in Lethos.
And who is the ruler here? Queen Ev?
No. She died at the start of the last war.
So, by that logic, that would mean that Morian and Hyacinth are still alive in this universe?
And her throne remained empty until after the war ended, when King Alfred took her place. But as Nils said, he subsequently cut ties with us. We were forced to take precautions. So, we asked a trusted friend to be our eyes and ears in Firene. She is due to meet us here shortly.
So you have a bloody spa there.
Lady Nell, Lord Nell, hello.
And just who is this bloody spa? Well...
Zelestia. We were just talking about you.
Wait, what? Princess Zelestia from My Little Pony?
I've been eagerly awaiting your arrival. You must be so tired after that long trek.
A trifle compared to your intelligence work here, I am sure.
Oh, that was nothing, Lady Nell. But who's this you brought with you?
Aaliyah is like there are millions of thoughts going around in Aaliyah's head right now, and I think most of them end with, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Oh. How is it you remind me so much of the Divine Dragon?
And how is it that you remind me so much of painful memories I'd rather not relive?
Actually...
Glorious day! Divine One, you've been reborn! I knew you could never leave us. Not permanently, anyway. It's so obvious. How could I ever believe Sombron bested the Divine Dragon Monarch?
Zelestia, as much as I hate to let you down, this is not who you think it is.
Sorry for the confusion. I'm actually the Divine Dragon of another world.
What?
We should have let you know sooner. This is not the old friend you and I knew. Rather, this is the savior whom Nil and I summoned with an ancient ritual.
This Divine Dragon arrived in the castle sanctuary after your departure to Firene.
I see. Of course. What was I thinking? I was there when we buried the Divine Dragon.
And we were there when we buried you.
I held that lifeless hand in mine as we said our goodbyes.
I know this is difficult, Zelestia.
Forgive me. I shouldn't have gotten so emotional. That loss was just as difficult for the two of you. Divine One, my name is Zelestia. I am a mage dragon of some small renown.
So, we finally have something I've always wanted in the series for a very long time, a playable mage dragon, except she's not a Manakete.
I always considered both you and Queen Lumera of this world to be my family.
Well, that's a lot healthier than who you considered family in the other world.
It's an honor to make your acquaintance.
No, please. Let's get past acquaintances and just be friends.
How funny! That's just what the Divine Dragon I knew would have said. Say, is there someone like me living in your world too?
And here's the awkward question we hope she never ask.
Well...
Yeah, about that.
I will kill them all.
Hortensia? Snap out of it, please! Hortensia! She can't hear you, unfortunately. Enjoy killing one another, won't you? You filthy defect! Such a bad girl.
Please don't talk about her.
Silly of me to ask. Of course she's there, and no doubt a great help in your fight against Sombron.
I love this line so much. Awkward silence.
What news of Firene Castle, Zelestia? You were stationed there for some time.
Indeed, I was. Firene is making plans to invade its northern neighbor.
Brodia.
The idea was Princess Celine's. It's technically still waiting for King Alfred's approval. But that hasn't stopped the young princess from mustering a force of elite knights. We can no longer stand by and simply watch how this unfolds.
Agreed. We must go to the castle and head off this war before it begins.
Another thing. Firene's emblem has been altered somehow since the last time I saw it.
Let me guess, it's not prone to talking and is gone red and black?
We'll need to be careful.
Yes. Now, let us proceed to the castle and reclaim the bracelet of the brash general.
I only hope Alfred and Celine are willing to talk with us.
Well, given that there has to be an actual battle in this chapter, it's not likely.
Still, Alfred? Still undecided about whether to invade?
Don't rush me, Celine. This is a big decision. I need time to think it over.
No, you need to take action.
It's not that easy. Brodia was our ally. If we pick a fight with them, there's no going back.
Since Mother and our retainers died in the last war, it falls to us to defend our people. Don't you know they are suffering? With the Divine Dragon gone, the world is falling to ruin. Our crops and flowers are losing their color. Soon the farms will go barren. The only possible remedy is to expand our territory and supplement our resources, now.
I know. As a mining economy, Brodia can spare the resources we need.
I mean, you could just, negotiate and trade with them.
So an invasion could really help us out with wealth and minerals. It's a decent plan, but there's a big hole in it. The strength of Brodia's military.
And also the fact that, if you win and conquer them, Brodia's people are going to hate you for generations.
Which is precisely why I assembled an order of knights to defeat them. Or is it their emblem you worry about? That silly princess is no match for the brash general.
Okay, that kind of narrows down who their emblem could be, but there are a few possibilities still.
Nothing's certain. No matter how good our odds look, we could still lose everyone. Or don't you remember? Our retainers so sure they'd come out on top, all falling like petals.
So yes, Boucheron, Etier, Alfred, Chloe, they're all dead in this world.
That was the same day our strongest ally, the Divine Dragon, left us forever.
You have changed, Alfred. You used to be afraid of nothing and no one. When the Divine Dragon was lost, so too was your spine. I will handle it then.
That is a pretty good burn, though.
Meaning what?
Meaning I will head to Brodia on my own, without your permission.
With no knights? Are you trying to get killed?
Facing either death by the sword, or a broken heart as our people die, I choose the former.
See, this is actually kind of interesting because this is what, Travant's motivation was supposed to be in Fire Emblem 4, and I never felt it came across that way adequately. But it does here.
Should I perish, perhaps a real hero will emerge and lead our people. I'm content with that.
In my head, that real hero who emerges would be Jean in this hypothetical scenario.
As for the Brodians, if they must suffer in order for our people to live, so be it. After all, one country's loss is another's gain.
I just can't get through to you, can I?
It's not your fault you were cursed with a stubborn fool for a sister. However, if you want her to have any hope of survival, you must make a choice. What will it be, Your Majesty?
Is she basically gaslighting him into lending her all the knights? She's like, oh, you wouldn't want to be responsible for your sister's death, would you?
You win. You're the only family I have left. If you're set on this, I'll at least give you a fighting chance. Consider the invasion approved.
Yay! Screw everybody in Brodia!
Thank you, Alfred.
Let's go. I'll give your knights official notice to prepare for battle.
Wait. Please.
Who goes there?
King Alfred? Princess Selene? It has been quite some time. Pardon the interruption, but we are here to discuss an urgent matter.
Also, you've just publicly shown your spy, right in front of them. I don't know if that's a great idea, even if you are Mike Wazowskiing her face right now.
Well, if it isn't Nell, and Nil. You know, I could have you executed for barging in here uninvited.
That is the lamest threat of execution I've ever heard.
True. Simply return the bracelet of the Brash General to us and we will leave you alone.
Oh, please. If we turned it over, the balance of power between nations would fall apart.
Besides, we're just about to use it to kill Brodia.
So you intend to continue to wield it as a weapon against your peers. It is precisely because they do the same that you now stand upon the brink of war.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting that the alternate Elios is kind of in a situation of basically everybody's using the bracelets as a nuclear deterrent, and it's all horribly fallen apart, just as that kind of thing tends to do in real life.
I do not think the Divine Dragon would find this behavior acceptable.
Oh, you presume to speak on behalf of the Divine Dragon? Curious, considering your father was the one who denied us Divine Counsel forever.
How dare you! We had nothing to do with that! How many times must we tell you that we are not Sombron?
Control yourself, Nil.
Of course. I'm sorry.
Rest assured that we are making the same journey to each of the other bracelet holders. We are reclaiming all of them. With that in mind, there is no need for you to keep Virenes any longer.
How do we know this isn't a trick to weaken us and strengthen our enemies? Show us proof you took the other country's bracelets, and then we'll talk.
Virene is our first destination. We have not reclaimed the other bracelets yet.
Then there is nothing more to discuss. We march to Brodia. The bracelet's power is indispensable to our invasion efforts. We will not simply hand it over.
Still, you refuse to comply. In that case, you have left us with no choice.
If it's a battle you want, we will be only too happy to oblige.
Please, stop. I don't want to fight the two of you.
Divine One? No. No, of course not.
How come you feel like the Divine Dragon? You told us our friend was dead, you wretches! Were you lying to us?
No, I'm from another world.
What?
No. There's only one explanation. This must be one of the corrupted. The Fell Dragons used their vile magic to make this twisted puppet of our fallen friend.
I mean, this puppet is kind of the wrong gender, haven't you realized that?
That's not true. Listen to me.
We don't listen to imposters.
I can't believe you, Fellspawn, did something so sick just to steal our bracelet. No doubt the tears you shed over the Divine Dragon's death were a trick as well. I thought as former allies, we could resolve this peacefully. Your deceit changes things.
No.
Knights, get ready for battle. See to it that Sombron's children are finally put down. We'll bring their severed heads to Brodia as a symbol of our might.
Yes, there is the brother I know. The fearsome man they called the Prince of Strewn Flowers. Now, as you did in the war, cast our foes to the ground like so many mangled roses.
If your spirit is trapped in there, Divine One, I'll set you free.
Alfred, no.
It seems conflict is unavoidable.
I knew this would happen, but it's just as well. Their disrespect for Lady Nell and Lord Nil cannot go unanswered.
Prepare yourself, Divine One. These may be familiar faces, but they will show you no mercy.
So the way that plays out, it is interesting. Like, it's not quite what I expected. Like, in some ways, yeah, they have basically just made Alfred and Saline, like, into evil versions of themselves, but they also kind of have some understandable motives, and also the whole situation with Alear, like, honestly, I wouldn't blame them for thinking they were corrupted, and I wouldn't blame them for feeling betrayed here. So, this just kind of seems like a tragic case of mutual self-defense at this point, which is... I don't know, just I kind of feel like this is the kind of grey morality that I like seeing in Fire Emblem. Like, this is just, I prefer this to some of their other attempts at it, let's just say. But yeah, we've got this garden battlefield right here. We have some armored enemies, which means we'll need mages of our own. But we also have... Okay, I love that monocle. I love that monocle. Yeah, we also have enemy enchanters. Now, this is the point where enchanters, like, actually start fully using their gimmicks. So, these HP tonics, the enchanters will use them to bestow a buff to all nearby allies, and this one right here has strength tonics, and the other ones have some other tonics, so like that's a dexterity tonic, but also some of them, yeah, see how this one here has Elthunder? It can't use Elthunder. Why does it have Elthunder? Well, basically, like, how they work is that they will increase the power of every weapon of that type, both theirs and yours. So, their Elthunder is trying to buff Saline here, in her own Elthunder. What's also interesting is, yeah, they actually have different class names. Also, the roses are clipping through a dress there, but yeah, belligerent individual who desires war. And also, their skills have different names, personal skills I mean, they do the exact same thing. But yeah, Saline has 2 health bars, she has some fairly strong magical offenses. The real terror here, though, is Alfred. Yeah, Alfred is really scary. He has Hector's Quick Riposte, so he'll be doubling you if you're attacking him. He can also use Storm's Eye. Impenetrable gives him like a plus 30% defense and resistance all the time. And he has the Wolf Bale for your cavalry and armored units. Yeah, Alfred is, in my opinion, one of the toughest bosses in the Fell Xenologue. I also just love how they both have different, like, poses. I haven't really talked about this before, but, like, I can't believe, like, they've said that their goal when they created, like, the 3D models in this game was to make ones that were as expressive as, like, the 2D portraits of the characters. And you'll notice that every character has their own unique pose that they'll always do regardless of their reclass. I think it did a great job of making every character feel really unique and individual. Turn to who to bring here. We're forced to bring Zelestia, and she's stuck at bond level 1 with all the emblems, which sucks. Yeah. But she has her Melusine class from the main story, which lets her use both swords and tomes, but she also has a personal skill. I don't really see why they couldn't have given the 4 Hounds personal skills in the main game, just to avoid the interface spoiler of Morvia being the only one to have one. Yeah, she grants a hit bonus whenever she defeats a foe, which is kind of cool, I guess. So, there are special boss conversations with the Royals, obviously with themselves, but also with the Furine retainers. And I guess Louis is the only one from Furine that I actually trained, so let's bring him. So obviously we need more mages, because Zelestia is not going to totally have us covered in that regard. You only have a base magic of 10. Versus Vale having a base magic of 19! The thing is though, I personally quite like Vale on this map, so I might take her. And now Zelestia. You know what? You might actually do decently with Veronica. Camilla can also be kind of solid for that extra movement. But I sort of want to use some summons here.
Veronica! I'll fight for you.
And the other thing that's really frustrating about Zelestia is that she can't be given any items on the preparation screen, so I'm going to have her use the convoy. For my last 2 members, I've decided to go for Unaka and Alchrist. Now, the reason why I'm bringing Alchrist is because there are going to be some mages that spawn from the north as reinforcements who have Elthunder, and I want to try and counter them to death with a longbow before they can become a real problem for me. Generally, what happens is I get stuck between Alfred and a whole bunch of reinforcements, and that ends really badly. Now, I was going to use Sophia for this, and then I realized that with Alchrist, I also get the benefit of extra range on Astrostorms with Lyn, and that could help for maybe weakening one of the bosses. Unaka, meanwhile, is mostly here for weakening Saline. The problem is that she kinda needs a strength boost to do well here since you have no access to forged daggers. And that means I think I'm actually gonna swap her emblem over to Marth. Because she used Marth a little bit earlier, and it does give her an extra +2 to strength.
Right.
Also, Nil, for his bracelet, I originally thought Byleth until I realized you don't have access to instruct while you're not engaged. So instead, I think I'll go for the Old Faithful with Micaiah.
Micaiah!
Of course.
Now, he doesn't start with any staves in this map, so I've had to bring a couple of staves in Unaka's inventory to give to him when the map begins. So now, let's begin.
Saying goodbye is always painful. I hope you die without suffering.
As painful it is to say it, that's my line. Yeah, just focus on the 2 bosses. No need to waste your time with anything else. And waste your time is what these initial groups of enemies are kind of trying to do. And they'll put an archer here to sort of dissuade you from going ham with Zelestia on the first turn.
Let's go.
But okay then, yeah, probably don't want 3 things to attack her. How much those armors do? 12, 24, and then 8. That's a total of 32, but if the swordsman goes first, then they could get some chain attacks going. Unless I try for a Leah Bondage Shield. I just sort of want to break through the enemies as fast as I possibly can. In fact, if I'm going for Bondage Shield, I might even want to lure that archer in. So there is Emblem energy, and I'll probably really need Bondage Shield later on in this map, but I'm going to go for now Bondage Shields. And you are going to, should I engage now? I might need that summon later as a distraction. I think for now, I am going to stay here and convoy something better than Elthunder, which would be Elfire in this case. Elwind is more speed, but it hardly matters when we're dealing with Armor Knights. Oh wait, no, it's identical speed, so an Elfire has higher hits. So yeah, it's basically worse against anything that isn't a flyer. Yeah, so meanwhile, the rest of the squad should just head as far forward as they sort of can at the moment. Now, the lower squad. Okay, I might go for a little bit of a gamble here and go in these woods with Vale and hope she dodges a lot. And I'm gonna go engage with Soren, just so that if she does get hit, she can recover back with Flare. I can actually start things off with Cataclysm, which might not be a bad idea, but nah, those armors are gonna die to her anyway, so probably best not to. Just gotta make sure I don't equip Bolting and it should be fine.
Whatever you need.
So yeah, everyone else is going to be a little stalled on this first turn, because I don't want to go, like, all the way into the lion's teeth while they're still active.
Support units! Time to fortify the troops with your supplies. We advance.
And yeah, they're introducing the gimmick of the enchanters here. Still, I don't know why they're in Soren's Divine Paralogue. But okay, if you hit me, that could be bad. Thank you. Yeah, that would have broken me. Thankfully, you're dead before you got a chance to use your fortifying supplies. The worst effect by far to deal with is the luck tonics, which give that 30% chance of ignoring damage entirely. I have seen that activate on Saline twice in a row in a turn where I really needed to kill her. So that was frustrating. I was kind of hoping for a more interesting victory quote there, but at least one enemy is down, and we get friendly boost even on the enemy phase. Yeah, I am very appreciative of this bondage shield for making it so that I don't potentially get crit by those steel swords. I don't really know whose idea it was, one of the few engage mechanics
Experience has triumphed.
that I'm not a huge fan of. The fact that steel weapons have a, like, 5% crit rate, that's not really, in my opinion, the best. Now, I really hope that that dodge was a case of, you know,
I'm ready for more orders.
Bondage Shield didn't trigger because the attack missed anyway, rather than a case of Bondage Shield having the 10% fail kicking in there. Okay, Anima Focus. See, the thing that I do like about Engage is that, like, dodge tanking can be useful, but you need to have a lot of evades stacked all together for it to really work. So, like, they strike a good balance between dodge tanking not being entirely broken, but also still being a viable option.
An obstacle in need of removing.
Yeah, well, literally, you guys are an obstacle in need of removing. Because you do essentially need to hurry in this map. Okay, there we go. She got hit once, but that's what Flare's for.
Mediocre.
And you always have access to Flare even if you are a Bond level 1. Unfortunately, neither of the dragons is really particularly adept at being like a Soren user right off the bat, because neither of them are... I mean, I guess Nell is slightly spec'd for magic if you want to squint. Neil actually has some kind of interesting critical quotes, though. They can all be summed up as, I'm helping. But, yeah, I want to see, like, it's always funny when you can kill something with him. Now, I do slightly more with the Fell Spark, so let's go for that. It has a cool animation anyway. And yeah, I could just Veil you to death, but also this is Vale's probably getting a little jealous now, because this is probably what she wishes that she'd be able to do. Right, you. Yeah, I do want to just see if I can get this crit here with his weapon. So the naming of these weapons is also kind of cool, because it sort of shows just how different alternate Elios is as a place to live. Because Alir, the main dragon of his world, his weapon is named after the French word for liberation.
Winning!
Then again, given Nemesis exists, liberation is not always a good thing in Fire Emblem, but still. But yeah, Nell and Nil's weapons, their names translate as reprisal and revenge. So yeah, alternate Elios, definitely a darker place in the main universe. You know what? I am actually just gonna lol snipe you with bolting a bit here. Even though the chance of actually hitting is minimal, but still. I don't know if that's gonna aggro you, but it will at least Draconic Hex you. Which tonic do you have? Strength. Okay, yeah, that one reduces the weight of weapons, which is not exactly... I don't know if anything in the game actually ever tells you the effects of all of the different types of tonics, but, as an enchanter effect, but it's still... yeah, the luck one is by far my least favorite. And thanks to Lyn, I actually won round you.
Here we go.
But okay, on turn 3, the reinforcement mages from the north are going to be incoming. And yeah, so... Elephant in the room, I haven't actually brought Alfred to this map. He does have some good boss conversations, it's just that it's a lot better if you've actually trained him in a file. since, you know, you'll actually be able to, one-shot you, totally guaranteed, nice. Since then he'll actually have good emblem levels.
I'll go first.
It's just that I need to kind of balance between showing conversations but also actually winning. And given that I'm playing this on hard, which I do consider a higher difficulty to the main story's hard mode, I sort of feel like I just want to, you know, what exactly? I just want to focus on actually winning these maps. Now, do I go for the summon now so I can lure them in? In fact, if I summon on Colorless and get a mage, that might actually be decent against the Armor Knights. Can't really guarantee that, though. But you know what? Let's try.
Emblem, engage!
Yes, it's always that thing when pulling on Gacha, and whenever you're thinking, okay, I want a specific unit, you probably aren't going to get it, but okay. Come on, Colorless Mage. Because, yeah, unlike in the original Fire Emblem Heroes, mages are all grouped under Colorless and Engage, since, you know, the others are all restricted to, like, swords, axes, and lances. And, Tiki! Okay, that is interesting. Right, not exactly a mage, and she's stuck with Tails. Yeah, the summoned emblems only have one weapon. So I'd really appreciate her breath here, but I mean, you know, I can use Tiki to lure them in. It's also kind of cool that we get to have Tiki herself fighting alongside us. Though she probably feels very sad to be in such a tragic place. Oh yes, people have reminded me have told me in the comments that okay, I did indeed aggro them. Yes, Tail Smash does indeed have a different critical animation to Eternal Claw. I still love the fact that you've got, like, the Furine map theme as an enemy phase theme here. I was about to say that it's kind of rare that you fight blue units in Fire Emblem, but then I realized, I mean, I guess, you know, certain roots of 3 houses are a thing. But okay, this is the precise reason why I brought Alchrist, because his job here is gonna be to snipe down these two as they approach me from the rear. Because there's going to be another batch of them coming in. I wonder if So, okay, he only has 9 resistance, though, and they do have a pretty solid amount of magical attack power, so I can probably only afford to let one of them hit him right now. And I don't want him to get too far behind, obviously. I mean, Tiki can actually finish something. Yeah, now is a good time to be using Veronica's summons, just because you don't get experience in the Fel Xenologue anyway. Or do you? Also, yeah, there's evidence of emblems not having victory quotes, because they're kind of based off of their arena appearances. And, All for One, Noble, like, Zelestia isn't exactly, like, that bad defensively. Yeah, she's better at defense than Aaliyah on this map. It's just, I feel like Louis, like, would be out of the chain attack unless I moved Zelestia. But there's just no way that I can move her without getting her out of, All for One range. So maybe instead I'll just straight up attack you with the Noble Rapier and... that unfortunately does risk a big chunk of damage to Aaliyah, though, and it's always possible that the mage will just kill him afterwards. It's entirely possible that Louis may be able to kill with the rune sword.
Tedious creatures.
You may not gain experience on these maps, but I do still find it very fun to figure out, like, the best way to fight the enemies based on the characters that I have available. So, for example, if I did engage... well, at the very least, it does mean that Aaliyah will be able to finish. The question is, though, do I really want to burn the engage just for that? I'd probably rather do this if all I need to do is put Aaliyah into kill range. Because I think I will actually need my engage when, you know, we're fighting against Alfred. And, like, to be honest, is there really any reason to risk Aaliyah? Suppose I'll make it the last thing I do in the turn. And again, yeah, you guys all have that weapon weight mitigation, which means, oh no, you have 5 speed instead of 3 speed. Whatever will I do? I mean, the armors are gonna die to Veil anyway, and they have kind of low hit. I mean, you don't do any damage though, so... But you are potentially a threat to my other characters. Also, that weight minus on a mage would be great if this was Fire Emblem 4, where fire magic was disgustingly heavy for no apparent reason. I still find it really, really stupid how, like, that was, like, the first game with a magic triangle, and yet fire was, like, objectively worse than everything, and thunder and wind were objectively better, just because, like, the only difference in them was weight. So, avoid 69. Do I really want to burn the Crom Engage just to make sure the armor dies? I think it's probably not worth it. I think I'll just have everybody else hang a little bit further back for now, even though that's not exactly the best. Oh yeah, and I was just like, right, so let's do this, and then let's just see if... As I mean, I am somewhat worried about Aaliyah here.
Our bonds give me
Their
strength.
lowish stats in the Fel Xenologue and their fixed dragon type kind of lock them into being more of a support role, and who am I kidding? Aaliyah can just run away. Didn't even need to worry about whether Aaliyah would be safe. I just put Louis in range of a mage, didn't I? Because I canceled Aaliyah. Yeah. That was extremely dumb.
Mediocre.
Because basically all the mages on this map one-round Louis to death. Okay, again, this is what Flare is for. On the off chance I do get hit, I get to heal. And usually only one thing hits me. Well, that has even less chance of hitting the armors.
Mediocre.
I do admit that Vale is a little broken on this map, but I'll take all the help I can get. Alright, you are attacking Zelestia. Oh, that's not a good miss, but please... What? Could you not reach Louis? I don't have any...
Use some tea after that.
If you could have reached Louis, I see no reason why you didn't attack Louis there. And a Rider's Bane. Gee, I wonder what they want you to use against Alfred. And, okay, yeah, 18... I equipped the wrong weapon. I equipped the wrong weapon on Alchrist. And more mages. Okay, yeah. Oh, wow, okay. That turn was a bit of a clumsy mess, wasn't it? However, I could try stalling here. Can't believe I didn't equip the longbow. Okay, then. So, let's just move on from that dumb mistake and hopefully take out this swordsman here. Yeah, I don't want Alchrist to fall too far behind, obviously, but there won't be any more reinforcements after these. It's just that I do want to try and take out those mages, because, again, if you get stuck between Alfred and them, especially since there will also be reinforcements, like,
change the future into
right
hope.
north of where I am at the moment, like, right where that thief is now, there are going to be reinforcements coming up there soon. And, yeah, the reinforcements can quite easily get you bogged down.
Wherever
Okay,
you
well,
need
at the
me.
very least, she does have... I mean, that is a possibility. Because you're going to be just trying to run away right now. Oh, this is actually my last turn to use Tiki, so, I guess I can just try and snipe you. Contract would be useless since you wouldn't be able to move. And that was worth a shot. I'm not honestly too bothered if I lose that Rider's Bane. Now, the kind of amazing thing about Vale is that she can actually kill that thief. And then that happened.
An obstacle in need of
Yeah, the
removal.
ice, it's not quite as cool looking as it was back in Radiant Dawn for Rex Caliper, but I do still think that it's a great, I do like the idea, like, it is pretty cool to have, like, a wind-based weapon that is actually, like, ice-based. I mean, they did that with Blizzard in, like, the Game Boy Advance games, and there will be reinforcements from down here as well, so maybe Nil going that way is not a good idea. Oh yeah, and I do need to trade the staves, obviously. Almost forgot to do that. Let's take both of those. And yeah, Physic is only C ranked, so I can use that with Micaiah. Well, I can use that with a minimum rank Micaiah, I should say. Yeah, that's probably a oh, no, it's not. Okay, that's fine.
Mediocre.
You don't even gain SP in these fights, so, yeah, well, again, or do you? We'll see. Okay, so finally, this is actually... Oh yeah, and mages ignore
I won't miss.
my terrain bonuses, so there was no point in me going here
I'll
anyway.
apologize later.
But, yeah, well, I'm making all sorts of clumsy mistakes with Alchrist now, aren't I? But we've got... That is, yeah, that's an enchanter.
Please, don't worry.
However, I should be able to... No, I do think I want to snipe down this mage. He'll take 12 damage from the enchanter, unless, like, I do something kind of drastic. Because we will have another batch of reinforcements on us very soon. I don't really think getting myself poisoned here is worth it, so I'm just going to go for another kind of attempt at a lucky shot here, which I did get. So yeah, this area looks pretty calm for now. It won't be for much longer. Also, Vale no longer has, her flare. Yeah, the reason why I put Yunaka on this path as well is there's a lot of terrain for her to go in. But if I go there with Vale, I think it's actually possible to block some of the reinforcements. So you... Oh, you're not even doubling. I guess because that's the shielding art. Okay, there we go. I was able to block one of the reinforcements. So now is when Alcaris needs to hightail it. The weird thing is, if I engage here, I'm doing this entirely so I have a melee weapon.
Emblem, engage!
Yeah, just so that I have a melee weapon, so that when that enchanter attacks me, I get to, you know, well, counter him with a melee weapon. And there will be reinforcements up here in a moment. So I don't want to start luring, start aggroing Alfred's group right now. I probably want to wait until the reinforcements come here, before going this far aggroes him anyway.
The winds are victorious.
What does that mean? Well, we might find out later. That quote doesn't really make sense at the moment, and yeah, screw you, Elwind. It's just, Elwind is kind of bad in this game, which I guess is revenge for it being good, the only good type of magic in Fire Emblem 4, as I was saying. I can just, take you out easily. So with Anima Focus, you inflict hit -20 with Thunder, and that may actually be useful against Saline. Yeah, I did give you L Thunder. And yeah, would probably rather you get closer than Nil, because, you know, Nil is Nil. And if you're ever asking yourself, how much damage will Nil do to an enemy? The answer is nil! That was a really horrible joke, but it came to me when I was doing my last attempt of this, which, it got pretty close, but it did fail in the end, so that's when I decided to be a little bit more aggressive with my deployments of strong characters. I was using Alfred that time, and he was pretty much dead weight. I also brought Lapis that time, and I found out the hard way that Lapis in the Fel Xenologue is kind of reliant on having, like, build negating skills. Now, I do think there is actually a second batch of reinforcements from below. Wow, did she miss with, like, a 93? Oh, well, I guess it means that I can do this! I mean, it's probably not worth it, but, I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm just gonna try, just because lol.
Not bad.
Even his attack animations are pathetically wimpy looking. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering if I go like here to... Because I know there is a second wave of reinforcements from below. And I'm not in that much of a hurry. So another potential strategy to do here is have both your teams meet up here, and then have your whole squad of 8 fight one of the bosses all together, then sweep up into the other boss. That's, in my opinion, safer, but it is also slower. It kind of all depends on your, like, whether you prioritize speed or whether you prioritize safety here. And I probably should be prioritizing safety, but there is a lot of story content to cover in these things, so I don't want the videos to go on too long. Now that clears the skies for Zelestia. I almost called her Zephyr then, and that would have been a horrible, horrible tragedy. Just like calling Ivy Camilla, because, Zelestia is like...
I'm ready for more orders.
I mean, by proxy, Zelestia is like a better character than Zephyr, but it's kind of hard not to be. I mean, I don't think Zephyr is like a horrible, like a terrible villain, but she does have her issues. And again, I'm just gonna do this just to see if I block off any reinforcements that way. Hello, shielding art. Unfortunately, did not actually kill you. Oh yeah, and because they're key adepts, they can also chain guard. I believe that would have been a break if it had hit, so that was a lucky dodge.
The winds are victorious.
I like how Veronica's tome looks there. I think that's her, like, her Bond 15 tome that she's using in her animation there. And okay then, that pause there makes me think that there were actually going to be reinforcements, but they got cut off. I can't really dodge tank those mages, and if both those mages attack me, I pretty much die. I wonder if now is a good time to bring on the doubles. Just because, like, it doesn't, like, normally I don't like the doubles because they don't give me experience if they kill something, but then I'm like, oh wait, I don't get experience from the Fel Xenologue anyway, so there's nothing really lost. So now I think I will advance upon the position of the Saline. I don't think Alcrest needs healing just yet. I
am stronger.
So I got into a situation in my first attempt at this where I basically required I required the healing from Great Sacrifice in order to survive. And that's why I'm saving Great Sacrifice in case that happens again. So I want to use the Vulnerary, but I also kind of want to see who I can summon.
I feel my courage growing.
I could try for a green axe user to counter Alfred.
You will be mine.
Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Are we gonna get an emblem, or will we get the dud? It's the dud! Otherwise known as 3-star Riz. But yeah, see that? So these swirling spirit tiles can actually still give you experience, even in the Fel Xenologue. So yeah, if you somehow manage to hit 4 of them, I think you can actually level up, but that level up won't, like, count for future maps or anything. So okay, the dud is a fabrication 2 levels lower than the user in their base class. Oh, I just realized I probably should have taken that Emblem energy with Aaliyah while I had the chance, because I will probably need Bonded Shields. Like, right now, Aaliyah is pretty useless, except for, Divinely Inspiring. But I do have the dud. He can act as a lure, I guess. Is that Reflect Physical or Reflect Magic? If it's Reflect Magic, that could be a real problem.
I can't believe I did that.
The ones around Alfred have the Reflect Physical and Reflect Magic effects on their enchants. Oh, that's weird. He didn't even fall over. He just got punched and then just was like, guess I'll die. Please don't have the Reflect. Okay. Doesn't look like it had the Reflect Magic.
Tedious creatures.
Yes, it's funny because when I first heard that line, I thought she was saying tealess creatures, and that also fits if you're fighting Firine. These are like the tealess versions of Firine.
So it begins. Lend me your might, Emblem of Strength.
And now he is full on in aggro mode. And reinforcement. Oh, that's not a good place for reinforcements. Okay, I may actually have to retreat now. In fact, okay, this is really weird. I think I actually have to use my, like, kind of the reverse of the same thing that, like, tactic that I did before. So I have Aaliyah go there so that you one-shot with the spear so that Zelestia doesn't die horribly.
You were beautiful while you lasted.
Though I don't really want her to get punched by the enchanter either. However, I do have the
I
dud.
can carry on.
And the dud is going to prove quite effective as a lure here.
Here we go.
This is just the thing about summons in Fire Emblem, both this and the summoner class in
could
Sacred
use some tea
Stones.
afterwards.
I would have like compared them in the bio, but I feel like that would be unfair to people who haven't played Sacred Stones before. But yeah, it's kind of like similar there. That you've got totally expendable characters in a Fire Emblem game, and that's pretty rare. So you have Reflect Physical. Okay, yeah, I believe it's the Resistance tonic that gives Reflect Magical. And I need to stop you from reaching Zelestia, and I think the main way to do that is to put you there, I think. And you gain experience as well. Of course, if the dud dies the regular enemies, I often find that Alfred likes to use Storm's Eye, though, rather than actually attack when he's first able to. But now Alcrest with... Yeah, there we go. Mulagir is another benefit of having somebody at a high bond level with Lyn. Whether it be Alcrest or somebody else. Of course, I'm going to lose Mulagir fairly soon, if not this turn. Yeah, I am losing Mulagir this turn. Oh, Astrostorm. Right, that was the entire reason why I brought Alcrest to this. Well, I suppose he might still be able to contribute to the Alfred fight, but okay, here's the problem. I do not like fighting Salene's group because of... Hang on, one of my Joy-Cons just went dead. Sorry about that. So I'm back to using my Joy-Cons since my wireless controller recently just stopped connecting to the Switch for no apparent reason. But then my right Joy-Con just suddenly died as well, so that's, yeah, pretty bizarre. Okay, I'll get back Soren, and I think I'll have you engage and then use
Emblem. Engage.
the Levin Sword, which should be able to one-round that first armor. Of course, I'll probably have to heal you afterwards. And Neil will get ready to make a run for it, as the need be. And then you'll get in there. So, okay then. Alright, I really hate that enchant effect.
Stop!
Yeah, see, like, they don't, like, fall over like they usually do. They just disappear. Okay, if you can tank just, like, a few more hits, I should be good. Well, that's not a few more hits. That means that... Zelestia is in range of Alfred. So is he going to attack, or is he just going to Storm's Eye like he often does? He's probably going to attack, knowing me.
My strength comes from diligence.
Okay, I'm not really too concerned about you guys. Yeah, actually, wait, I guess because these are essentially casual mode.
Advance and bolster your weapons so we can annihilate these fools.
That's referring to another mechanic, I'll get to that in a moment, but I'm just mostly concerned about whether or not, no.
I'll react with lethal force.
Yeah, I think this is what Alfred is programmed to always do when he's first aggroed. Because if he'd attacked, he probably would have killed Zelestia. But, okay then. We've got a big batch of enemies incoming. We also have a couple of enemies back here. I don't want to be a coward and retreat back and focus just on killing them, but I almost feel like I kind of need to. So yeah, that whole bolstering weapons thing. So, yeah. Elthunder. Elthunder now has its attack power increased for everybody on the map with Elthunder, not just the enemy. So my Elthunders are stronger too, which is admittedly pretty interesting, conceptually. But I guess now, I can kind of go with the Veil dodge tank strategy. The problem with this is that, you know, I really, really don't like it when, Saline has that luck tonic effect on her.
Do not suffer. An obstacle in need of removal.
At least I'm getting some good crits here. I also just realized this bottom squad is basically all dragons and also Yunaka. Yeah, you just have the enchant... Yes, it's because you haven't... Yeah, you used the enchant effect on that. But now you're going to start using the luck tonic. So I guess you can, like, take down Saline, like, quickly and avoid that. I just... If there was a way that I could beat Alfred this turn, I could go for it, but I don't think that is going to work. However, I could go for my own Storm's Eye,
Won't you join
which
me?
will at least prevent me from getting doubled by the Wolf Bale. The problem with that setup is it means it's going to lure Alfred in, and I don't really have a whole lot that can, like, counter him at the moment. So I think it's probably best right now to play it a little safe and instead just wipe out these mages. And then I can Storm's Eye Alfred. Unless he moves down towards the other squad, which I am admittedly not entirely opposed to because Veil might do a good job of taking him out. And I should be getting Alacrity here. There we go.
I'm still alive? Huh.
Oh, and you completely obliterate this guy.
Here we go.
Tedious creatures.
I do really want this upper squad to be healed, though. So I may actually need to use... Yeah, and I do need Nell to also heal. I just realized that I put all this effort into bringing Yunaka, and I've barely even used her. But okay.
Emblem, engage!
I think I'm gonna have to Great Sacrifice now.
If this means survival...
Well, I mean, when you're Neil, everything means survival. And I suppose you can go there. Okay, yeah, there's that luck effect on Saline. And there's that... Okay, well, there's a 30% chance that you won't die. I don't know if getting the critical animation means that you always broke through that luck effect, though. I feel like it just wouldn't show the critical animation if it was negated, but I could be wrong about that.
Do not suffer.
Okay, Veil is going a little berserk here.
Obstacle in need of removing.
It's funny, this makes it look like 99 for damage cap since I've got a lot of 99 criticals, but it isn't. And of course, we've got reinforcements coming in here, but however, Vale is not going to be able to... Yeah, there's the ignore damage. Vale is not going to be able to counterattack Saline, though, and she still has 2 health bars.
Fiorine is all that matters. Crush those who dare oppose her.
One thing with Saline is that the main universe Saline explicitly expresses disapproval with alternate Saline's methods, which means the whole headcanon about Saline in the main universe being a merciless bandit slaughterer actually got abandoned by the fanbase pretty quickly after this, because, yeah, she disapproves of alternate Saline. Now, let's see, how much damage are you doing with... Oh, you're doing 20 with Elf Thunder. I don't think there's any way that I can actually beat Saline this turn. Yeah, I really don't like this ignore damage effect. At least you still died, but still, it's just, it's one of the few mechanics in Engage that I really don't consider fun to go up against. But you know what, probably it's better if I get more people in on this action and then I start going for Saline. Because yeah, while I'm here, I may as well use this Cataclysm. Which should also heal me up a little bit with the flare. So now here's the question. The problem with Louis is that he is basically the worst character to fight against both Alfred and Saline since he hates magic and the Wolf Bale.
Emblem,
but if I go for Storm's Eye, at the very least, I won't be able to get doubled. And if that's the case, I should go with the Wolf Bale with it. Or no, actually, no, I do probably need to... Actually, no, I can't even use the Spear.
Gutsy, aren't you?
Yes, he is indeed gutsy, but let's hope he doesn't get to show us just how gutsy he truly is. Oh yeah, there's an Archer there, which kind of prevents me from doing anything decent with Zephyr. In fact, to be honest, it's probably best if I just pull back a little here, because I think Louis should be fine up there, hopefully. Because, okay, yeah, that's nothing, and I get to double Wolf Bale you in the face. One of which is a crit! Yes, Louis, bring the true value of tea to the people of this false Fiorine. And that's a little unfortunate, because I can't, yeah, maybe I should have, no wait, no, I couldn't have given him, like, a ranged axe, because he can't use them outside of, Engage. Nothing else can attack Nell, right? Doesn't... What? I hate it when he does that. He is being a complete coward. Yeah, you do have to kind of proactively hunt him down. However, with this, I should be able to... Yeah, with the Archer down, Zephyr... sorry. Zelestia, not Zephyr, can actually get in there. Well, let's at least get Astra Storm back. Now that I no longer have Storm's Eye, Louis is dead. So yeah, you definitely do want to take on Alfred offensively rather than defensively. He is, as I've said before, probably my least favorite boss to fight in this entire DLC, apart from the final one.
Why you?
I guess there's a bit of a flamenco sort of flair in that.
Yes.
Instead, I sort of need to retreat back here a little bit and not get in range of Saline. And yes, that does heal me too. I was hoping it did. But yeah, because of the AoE. But like I said, Alfred is probably... Louis is probably dead here. That's not the worst thing. No crit, thankfully. Oh, me doubling with armors is actually a really bad thing here? Because if I wasn't, then Alfred wouldn't have range to me. Because he'd be blocked by his own Armor Knight. Okay, that is, it's actually still death. Probably thanks to Flare's resistance negating, well, resistance lowering effect. Where is he? Is Louis gonna die? I think probably so. Kind of glad that didn't hit, to be honest. I kind of had a feeling you'd do that.
Unacceptable!
Yeah, well, that accuracy was kind of bad, but, you know, he hit anyway. And yet, he's dead.
Come and test your mettle. But there's no way you can defeat the brash general.
Even with, oh wait, no, he's going for you. Oh. And I doubled, which is cool. But it's like, not even with my brash general? Okay, in that case... I've got to be really careful in how I play this. In fact, I don't know if Astra Storm will finish that first health bar on Alfred. If it does, I've probably got this. Yes, Mulligan does do it. Good.
Now I have you.
So, okay, with this, that's one health bar down. You and Zelestia have the other health bar pretty much guaranteed.
A good wind.
And then I've got Saline this turn as well, I think. Okay, so that's adaptability switching over to physical, which means that adaptability will make you take less damage from... Which means that magic will be doing more damage. Oh, but if I engage...
Emblem, engage!
As funny as it will be to do another summon here, instead, I'm engaging so that I can use this, and he doesn't get to counterattack me. And this will switch his adaptability over to magical, which will mean Louis does more damage. So I just need as good of an accuracy as I've got, and that would be armored. So yeah, well, yeah, he was right about us not being able to beat the Brash General, but he was wrong about whose side the Brash General was on.
I knew from the start that I should have given the bracelet back at the war's end.
Yeah, Alfred is sort of meant to be the more sympathetic of the two here. I was gonna make a joke about that being like evil fanfiction Hector, but I'm like, I've never really seen Hector demonized in fanfictions before. It's like, even by diehard, like, Lyn and Wrath shippers, like, they usually just... I guess it's because there's so many other people to ship Hector with to get him out of the way, so, like, they probably just ship him with Flora. Are you serious? I hate... Oh... This does not make... I do not like this. Yeah, so I really do not like this mechanic. It's just... Because here's the thing. The odds are against me. Because I need to get 3 attacks in without her blocking any of them. If she blocks any of these 3 attacks, I'm dead. Because I need the first one to get the health bar, and I need Vale's next 2 attacks to finish her. If any of them gets the 33% block, I'm done. So, yeah, this actually does, like, this whole Enchanter effect does actually really bug me. Like, usually, see, Engage to me, I've heard a lot of people say that, like, RNG screws them over a lot in Engage. That generally doesn't happen with me that much, but with this skill, it really does.
You take nothing from me.
Thank you! Okay. See, again, like, the odds were actually against me there. I would have had to, like...
No, this can't be right. We were supposed to succeed. I was supposed to be happy.
There were 3 30% chances there, and if any of them had gone through and blocked that, I would have failed that. So, okay, that was a little longer than I probably should have been a little more aggressive with Alfred. I have no idea why he didn't go for Louis, though. Because I'm sure he could have killed him with the Wolf Bale.
This is it. The bracelet of the Brash General.
Just like the one we already have, now we can merge them and have a +1 Hector.
Emblem Hector dwells within. A brave leader who embodies the fighting spirit of the Pyrenees.
Yeah, he'd be more at home in Brodia in the main universe.
He was once daring and gallant. Now, as Zelestia informs us, he is tainted by evil.
I wish I could summon him again. Give him a fresh start.
There is no point lamenting what cannot be changed. I will return him to slumber now.
Rest easy, Emblem Hector.
Thank you.
Again, the emblem speaks.
Seems a shame to drift off so soon, but I suppose it's not all bad. I just hope we can all stride into battle together. Someday.
And little does he know we already have.
I'm sure we will.
You put the general to bed, I see.
Yeah, so long as he's not dreaming about Roy seducing his daughter, we're probably fine.
King Alfred, please, call off your invasion.
Well, I mean, we kind of killed a lot of their troops, so they're not really in a fit state to invade anyway.
Without the bracelet, I don't have much choice. But Nil just told me you're from another world. Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
Adds up, I guess. If you were our divine dragon, you wouldn't have taken our bracelet by force. You'd have sided with us. Or you'd at least have been nicer. Clearly, you're not the friend I knew.
Alfred.
But still, I'm glad I met you. You may not be from this world, but I can tell you have the divine dragon's heart. Sorry about before. I really did think you were one of the corrupted.
For my part, I owe an apology to Nell and Nil. I insulted you, tying you unfairly to Sombron. You are not to blame for his actions. I am deeply, truly sorry for losing my composure.
And also for almost killing us and almost invading Brodia.
Noted.
We were all devastated to lose our beloved divine dragon. Of course we understand.
Hey, I've got an idea. How about you take us with you? A little extra muscle might come in handy if you're going around collecting bracelets.
It would have been kind of cool to have the alternate royals as party members.
Yes, an excellent idea. I already have my knights assembled. They could come as well.
Absolutely. It would be a great comfort having you two on our side.
However, something in Nell's expression tells me that she is not going to approve.
Alas, we cannot.
Huh? Why not?
It is out of the question. And it is not your choice to make, Divine One. While it is true that we summoned you for help, this is not your army.
Yeah, technically Nell and Nil are the lords here.
Whatever authority you are accustomed to in your own world does not apply here.
Right. Sorry.
Aaliyah's death being a game over is more a game over for our universe than this one.
You'll have to forgive us, Divine One. Nell is harsh, but she speaks the truth. I am also opposed to allowing the Pyrenees to join us.
I just don't like them for some reason.
What do I have to say here? Are you gonna make me beg? I need to make up somehow for treating you all so badly. Let me help keep you safe.
The battlefield is no place for a king.
Nell, are you even aware of what series you're in?
The people need their ruler to watch over them.
Like, it's easier to count the kings who aren't on the battlefield.
Not only that, but think of what would become of your kingdom if it were to lose you. Pyrenee would be left entirely without a monarch, or even an heir.
Then at least let Salian and her knights go with you.
The king's sister is every bit as indispensable. And the knights must defend their castle.
And also, we don't know if Alfred has a terminal illness in this universe too.
If your intention is to make amends to us, then I would ask you to think foremost of yourselves.
Fair enough.
If that is your wish, we will accept it. Shall we keep our bracelet here in Pyrenee?
Why?
I can assure you, we will not misuse it. After all, we can awaken sleeping emblems.
You just like looking at the Hector armor bracelet, I guess.
But if our enemy wants to collect the bracelets, is it not safer to keep them apart?
That would be logical. But for the likelihood that our enemy has the power to awaken emblems.
Yeah, that is true. They could just waltz in here and all our work would be for nothing.
If that is so, the emblem's slumber becomes irrelevant. And if that happens, there is no telling what havoc the brash general will wreak.
Yes, we would have an ultimate Hector goes bananas situation all over this castle.
Better to keep them with you, since you can put them back to sleep. Makes sense.
I appreciate your understanding.
Nothing more to discuss then. We'll head back inside and leave the bracelet with you.
Alfred is just spending most of this in a state of, like, gentle malice, I'd call it, towards us.
Sorry to give it up, but at least it's in the right hands. More importantly, Divine One?
Yes?
The hardest part of all this is saying goodbye to you, my old ally. But I'm so glad you're back. When we lost you, I was beside myself.
Alfred? I'm not the divine dragon you knew, remember? Nell explained it.
Oh, right. Silly me. I'm new to the throne, so I've been burning the candle at both ends. Guess I'm a little worn out.
Yeah, that hits harsher thanks to what we know about him in the main timeline.
Not very becoming of a king, is it? If I'm not careful, people will start to talk.
It's all right. I am here to support you, Alfred. Let's head back so you can rest, I will begin thinking about ways to revive industry here in Firene without resorting to war.
Well, yes, now you're on the track you should have been to start with.
As for you all, when your mission is done, please do come back and visit with us.
Yeah. Best of luck.
Was Alfred all right? He seemed to be acting a little strange.
Probably just terrified. My sister does have that effect on people when she's angry.
I was not angry.
Nell's got a point, though. You were too harsh with your words.
I refused their offer to join us on principle. You did not have the right to invite them.
I already apologized for that, didn't I?
See, I do like that we're actually getting to see Alear have a genuinely rocky relationship with another character here. Something you didn't really get that much in the main story, except temporarily with Vale.
Lord Nil? Is there something going on between those two?
They've been tense with each other from the very start. It is becoming a bit of a problem. I wish I could convince them to get along.
Perhaps it's hard to accept that this one is in fact a different person. It is quite unexpected. In the past, Lady Nell was so...
I am right here, you know.
My apologies.
At least there were no assassins this time.
Well, yeah, that class doesn't exist in Engage.
I'm not sure I could have handled that. It was hard enough just fighting Alfred and Celine.
That does not mean they will not show up again. We should remain on guard.
You don't think we might be fighting twins, do you?
Twins?
Back at Lethos, Nell mentioned that Felldragon children are always born as twins. It's just a thought.
It is possible. But nearly all Felldragon children lose their twin siblings as they mature. I do not think it is terribly likely.
Sorry, did you say lose their twin siblings?
This is the first I've heard of it. Lady Nell and Lord Nil, you're still together?
We are exceptionally fortunate to be so.
Then I'm glad neither of you lost your other half. That would have been awful.
Kind of you to say.
There is no point to baseless speculation. Let us focus on reclaiming Brodia's bracelet.
Right. Your world's Brodia. I'm curious to see what kind of place it is.
It seems like we lose more siblings by the day. Pairs of twins like us do seem to be getting rare.
More and more, I see them talking about killing one another. They call each other weak. They laugh at twins who haven't fought to the death yet.
Unthinkable.
I'll be next. I'm sure of it. They'll come for a failure like me any day now.
Do not say such things.
But it's true. Stronger ones than me have already died. Ones who were much more useful to Father. Even if I'm not next, it's only a matter of time. I'm so scared.
Nil, listen to me. Come what may, I will protect you. I swear it.
And with that, we end Xenologue 2, Seeds of Unrest. See you all next time as we enter the alternate version of Brodia and find out the most important question. Are Alchrist and Lapis still an adorable couple? Sort of. See you all then.